Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast, and I'm delighted for the first time to be joined by Louise Orton. Louise, first and foremost, we spoke a little bit there, but how are you? How are you feeling today?
Yeah, good, thank you. A lot better today.
Good stuff, good to hear it. Now let's just jump straight into it. I was doing a lot of research on you, trying to figure out who Louise Orton is and stuff like that, and I came across this article that said you're Britain's best kept secret in the female boxing, and not just female boxing, but maybe even British boxing. Why is that? Why are you the best kept secret?
I think what it is, everyone that kind of knows me that's in the sport knows the potential that I've got, and obviously knows the struggles that I've been having trying to get like a promotion, even trying to get my debut. Everyone knows the struggles that I've been having, and it's all kind of, they don't understand why, because they know how good I am and the potential I've got. I think that's how I've earned the best kept secret boxing, because I mean, once everyone sees me and once everyone knows what I'm about, then they'll see why.
I mean, talk to me about the heartbreak then. I know you were meant to fight last month, October 8th, I believe it was, and then in 2 days it was cancelled 2 days before your fight. And I was doing a little bit of work and research, and I was looking at, like, you've had troubles before to get that fight. Then you were down in the dumps a little bit, and you finally got the fight date. You're 2 days away, 1 day away from the weigh-in or whatever. I mean, just talk to me about that heartbreak and what that meant to you and your fans and everybody that was coming down to watch you.
Yeah, so it's been an absolute nightmare. So I've been waiting for my debut for literally over 2 years now. And every time it happened, it was COVID that kept cancelling the shows, basically. But as time went on, this year started, COVID was kind of whittling out a little bit. Shows were happening. Big shows kind of were coming back on. I was meant to make my debut in February of this year, but again, because of COVID, kept getting cancelled, and the date kept getting pushed back. So each month it was being pushed back, being pushed back. So literally I've been in camp since the 4th of January, and where it kept getting cancelled, like you said, the closest I've got is literally at the weigh-in. The day before the fight, which was the one back in, I think it was July it was meant to be. So got to the weigh-in, the main event tested positive, and because the main event had tested positive, basically they were saying that they couldn't afford for the show to go ahead. So they literally cancelled it there and then on the scales. That just kind of broke me, but then my manager at the time reassured me, don't worry, we're going to get you another date. Had another date of, like you said, the 8th of October. Everything was good to go, everything was set, and then 2 days before, got the phone call. You're not going to believe it, it's not happening again. And at that point, I just literally, it just broke me. I lost everything inside of me. Like, I felt so depressed, I felt down, like I didn't want to train, I was struggling to lose weight where I was so stressed. But where I'd been in camp for so long, everything else in my life had been put on the back burner, because I work full time as well. Trying to work full time and train full time to the intensity that you have to for such a long period of time, it's testing on your body, like not just your body but your mind as well. And where I'd been let down so many times, I got to the point where I just said, you know what, I need a break. I can't keep doing this, because they said, oh, don't worry, we'll get you another date in 2 weeks' time. But then it's kind of like, oh, another 2 weeks I've got to get through. And what happens if I get there and it falls through again? And I thought, oh, I can't do this. So I just said, enough's enough. I need a break, which I've done. I've still been ticking over in the gym, but not to the intensity that I was before. But yeah, just had a little break now. I've actually now got a new manager and a new coach, or 2 new coaches. So yeah, that's where we're at the minute. Just kind of put everything on hold for a little while, just to get myself back, rebuild, kind of get that fire back in my belly. But yeah, that's where we are at the minute.
Before we talk about the future, what's intriguing the most is when you were talking there and how these cancellations and dates being so close to the fight broke you, and you were depressed and mentally you went all there. But what fascinates me is you are a mental health nurse. So it's like, how did you cope with that, going to your work and dealing with people that maybe have felt the same way you're feeling at this time with the depression, anxiety or whatever? How did you manage to juggle that? I mean, that must have been difficult.
Well, that's exactly it. And I kind of recognised in my body, like, the signs where things weren't right. I would, like, for this camp, for the last fight for October, I was struggling to lose weight, but I was doing everything that my nutritionist told me to do, and literally right down to the point of drinking the right amount of fluid that I was meant to be drinking, eating the food. I was on meal preps, and I don't cheat, because to me, if you're cheating, then you're only cheating yourself, and it just makes it more hard work. So I was doing everything that I was meant to be doing, and I spoke to my nutrition about it, and he said the only logical explanation is stress. And it got to the point where boxing was my outlet. It was my distraction. It was what gave me purpose in my life. And what I started to realize was that actually boxing was starting to cause me stress rather than relieve that stress. So that's when I knew, right, now I need a break. Like, if I carry on the way I'm going, I'm going to end up hating boxing, which is not what I wanted to do. So yeah, I think that's what kind of made me realize that was when I needed to take the break for my own kind of sanity.
How do you stay motivated then? Like right now at this moment in time, is it the change of management and coaching, and is that how you got your motivation back now and you're ready to kick in? Obviously, you could probably write 2021 off, but 2022, are you hoping that you can finally get going?
Yeah, 100%. So I left my previous coach, left my previous manager, because it was just bad blood, and it just got to the point where I started to blame them. And as much as I'm not their fault, the mentality that I was having, anytime I was in the gym, I was feeling negative because I was associating it with the negative experiences that I was having. And I just thought, I need to give myself like a new focus. I need like a fresh, clean start. So that's what I did. Like you said, that's what's given me the motivation to carry on. I've got 2 new coaches now, new gyms, new manager now as well. And hopefully 2022 is going to be my year. Hopefully.
Well, I've definitely got your fingers crossed. I've my fingers crossed for you, definitely.
Yeah.
Who's your new manager and your new coaches? Any what have they sort of like done for your game and stuff like that right now? Obviously, you said there was a negative issue with your previous coaches and manager and that, but what as your new manager and your 2 new coaches, what have they done for you in terms of getting you that fire in the belly, like you said?
Yeah, so my new manager is Sam Kinnock, and he just multi-deal with Pabellum, and his boxers that he's actually already got are some of the only ones that have actually boxed this year. So for me, that's positive in itself. And what I liked about him was that he didn't try and sell me the dream. He didn't say, oh, I can get you this, I can get you that. He was quite straight and said, right, this is the opportunities that you're potentially going to have. And I think that's what I needed, because where at the minute I've been sold the dream by everyone, saying, oh, you're going to be this, you're going to do that, and none of it's happened. What I liked was the fact that someone was straight with me, and to the point where I actually believed it and thought, right, okay, that's good. You've not filled my hopes up to kind of knock me down.
Yeah.
That was that in terms of manager. And coach wise as well, I'm actually coached between my boyfriend Cole Stevens and Sam Mullins.
Oh, conflict of interest then.
I know.
You're coached by your boyfriend.
Well, people have said that, but I think starting with Sam. So Sam Mullins, he's known me since day one in the amateurs. He's seen me at my best. He's seen me at my worst, and he knows how to get the best out of me. He knows how to make me that aggressive little bitch that I am. Whereas at the minute, I've kind of been a bit too nice with people.
Yeah.
And
I know Sam Mullins as well. Yeah, I know Sam.
Yeah, and inspiring, kind of like, if I've held back with people, it's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why? He said, just get in there, like, and give it. So now I'm kind of learning to get back that aggressive, the part of me that was really aggressive before. And on the other hand of that as well, I've got Carl, my boyfriend, because half of the time basically I'm living in Kent, and the other half I'm going to be living in Ipswich. So when I'm in Ipswich, my boyfriend's going to be training me, but when I'm in Kent, Sam's going to be training me. And everyone has said, like what you said about the conflict of interest and how's that going to work kind of thing. But to be honest, I couldn't think of anything better. Like, Carl's my best friend as well, and he knows me inside out. And what's good is that he knows how to talk to me. He knows how to get the best out of me as well. So where a lot of people see it as quite negative and that it could turn into arguments, luckily for us, it's not like that at all. And we can live in the boxing gym and not take it home. So yeah, I couldn't think of 2 better people to coach me, to be honest.
Well, that's good then, because I don't know if I know any boyfriend and girlfriend coaching fighter in the sport at this moment in time. So you might be the first.
Ramla Ali was coached by her boyfriend. I don't know if she's still
in. Yeah, I remember that. Now you've definitely. But I looked at you. You were lightweight as an amateur and stuff like that, and I believe that weight, super featherweight, lightweight, you'd be as a pro. Is that correct?
It is, yeah, super feather.
Well, look at right now. Again, you must be having itchy knuckles because looking right now at that super featherweight, lightweight division with Katie Taylor, Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper. Do you know what I mean? All these girls right now, Michaela Maya out in the US in your division. I mean, Chantelle Cameron's hovering. She's up there at light welterweight just now, but I mean, they're flying at the moment. Women's boxing is flying at the moment with the fights with Tasha and Katie Taylor, even Tasha and Terry Harper, even out in the States with McCaskill and Breakhouse. I mean, right now, Shannon Courtney as well, Ebony Bridges, Shannon Courtney is doing well. So it's almost like women's boxing right now is on fire. The girls are putting on a show every time they go out there. It seems to be every single women's fight, female fight I've seen, they've gone to war. They're just throwing bombs. So Louise Orton, you must be having itchy knuckles to go in there and let them hands go.
Honestly, it's depressing me watching them fights because I mean half the people you've mentioned, like I spar, they're my regular sparring partners. So knowing that I'm holding my own with them, and if not better, watching them kind of on the big screen and then looking at myself, I just think, it's so frustrating because I know that I'm good enough, if not better, to be on that same stage. So yeah, like you say, I'm just desperate to get in there now, but I just need my break. I just need that opportunity to get on there. And I know that if someone did give me that opportunity, that they wouldn't regret it.
The thing is as well though, Louise, it's safe to say that right now, although there's talent inside women's boxing, the depth of talent isn't there. It's not a deep pool. There's only maybe 10, 12, 15, 20 boxers in the division and stuff. It's not like the men's division right now when there's thousands of fighters. So the only sort of maybe saving grace in air quotes that you have is that maybe 5-6 fights down the line, you can see yourself at that level. You might get the shot against the Terry Harpers, the Michaela Myers, and all these girls and stuff like that. So I mean, as soon as you get that debut out the way and you get a couple of fights under your belt, who knows what the end of 2022 can hold for you?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what the goal is, just obviously get my debut underway early next year, get my debut. I think we're looking at February time, get that done and just box as often as I can. Like literally any opportunity that I can get, I'm going to box because I'm going to go part-time in January so that I can focus more on boxing rather than trying to work full-time and train full-time. So when I am part-time, obviously I can commit a lot more. I'm going to be less tired. So yeah, I just want to have a busy 2022 and just literally box every month if I can.
Well, listen, I'm fingers crossed for you again. Like I said, when you look at the women's boxing right now, man, with the Katie Taylor and Terry Harper's loss and stuff like that, like I said to you, it's a crazy old sport. But what are your thoughts on Terry Harper last weekend there?
If I'm honest, I think she looked like a rabbit in headlights, to be honest. I don't know if there was something wrong with her, whether she was unwell, but it could just be the pure and simple fact that it was down to levels and she was out of her depth. Again, I don't really know her, so I don't know what her explanation was as to what went wrong, but from the viewers at home and from what it looked like she was out of her depth. Mm-hmm. And I think that is what's happening at the moment. I think some people have been overrated. They've been bigged up to kind of be better than what they are, and when they are put in front of someone who is half decent, who can go to war, they're getting found. So I think as well that's going to go in my favor, because when people are going to get found out, I think that's when the ones with the real potential are going to start shining through. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously when people are going to get the opportunities, because once you kind of prove that you're worthy to be there.
Going on Katie Taylor, man, like she's obviously been she started. Obviously, you had Jane Couch and stuff like that, but Katie Taylor's really took women's boxing to another level, especially with Clarissa Shields as well. But Katie right now, she seems to be unbeatable. Do you believe she's unbeatable, or is she the Floyd Mayweather of the women's boxing, or can she be beaten?
I think everyone's beatable. 100%, everyone is beatable. And I think there comes a point when you do start to come to that decline part, and it is impossible for your body to perform at its peak 100% of the time. So I think if she's put in front of the right person, and not being biased, but I think that right person's going to be Chantelle. I think when that fight does happen, I think it's going to expose Katie. But yeah, she has been I think her fights have probably been well picked. I think the fights with Pursoon were very, very close. Maybe I think the wrong decision might have happened. But yeah, I think everyone's beatable, and I think there will come a point where she does get beaten.
I'm interested you said Chantelle, because Chantelle Cameron's the weight above. She's gunning for the undisputed. I know Chantelle very well, very, very well. So did you just say that Chantelle beats Katie Taylor?
I think Chantelle beats Katie Taylor, yeah.
Is that what do you think? Obviously, being that Chantelle's obviously, she's maybe a slightly bit bigger, but that girl can pack a punch. You believe that's the deciding factor in that fight?
Yeah, I think Chantelle's more aggressive than Katie Taylor in terms of the pure kind of heart and determination. I've known Chantelle since I was young, and she can have a war when she needs to have a war. I think her last fight showed that. That was an unbelievable fight, and I think if that was her and Katie Taylor, I think, like you say, I think Chantelle would edge it, to be honest. But she's only kind of gone the weight above at the minute because she technically probably should be lightweight, Chantelle. She is a natural lightweight, but where Katie's got all the belts at that weight, Chantelle wasn't getting a look in. So she's had to go up a weight to be able to have the kind of title fight opportunities, because at lightweight, she wasn't getting it. So I think, yeah, when she does get that opportunity for Katie, I think she'll probably drop back down to lightweight. Sticking
on Chantelle, will she become undisputed?
Yeah, 100%.
No question, eh?
Then.
Listen, back to you then. I mean, what are your hopes for 2022 then? Right now, if you can wish, you had 3 wishes right now from a genie in the bottle, what would be your hopes right now for 2022? At
the minute, to be honest, all I'm focused on is getting my debut. That is what needs to happen. I've spent so long kind of thinking, I want to achieve this by the end of the year. I want to be here, there, and everywhere. But as it stood this year, I've still not even had my debut. And I think that's contributing to me feeling so let down all the time, because I have set myself these goals of what I want to achieve. When I'm not achieving them, it makes me feel crap.
Yeah.
So I think for the minute, I've just got to focus on getting my debut done, making sure that happens, and then reassessing the situation at that time, rather than kind of setting myself up to fail, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because where I've had such a negative year, it doesn't help, like, setting goals to then be let down. But in an ideal world, I'd hopefully box six times next year, and then maybe the start of 2023 looking at a title shot.
Any word on a debut then? Have you got any news?
End of February, I think we're looking at. Yeah, there's a potential date coming soon from Sam Kinnock. He's due to let me know hopefully very soon. But yeah, we're looking at end of Feb.
Well, at least you can enjoy Christmas then. There's one positive for you right there.
Yeah, there is that.
Before I let you go and enjoy your Friday evening, one final word from yourself then. What can the fans expect when Louise Orton makes her debut?
You're going to see fire, you're going to see aggression, and you're going to see Britain's best kept secret.
There we go. That's perfect. Listen, absolute pleasure to speak to you for the first time. I'm going to keep my eye out for you. Hopefully you get that debut on the end of February. And if anyone deserves it, it's you. I mean, you've had a hard 2021 like most people, but for a fighter not to get their debut who's been dreaming of it, man, it must be heartbreaking. But good luck to you. Enjoy your Friday evening, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.